tonight's video is dividing by one-digit numbers. Alright, some of you have learned to do this already, but some of us are a little bit not so sure about what to do. Alright, first thing, let's look at our VICs, or our very important concepts. The divisor is the number that is doing the dividing. When you say it's divided by, that's your divisor. The dividend is the number that's being divided, such as if you said 27 divided by 3, 27 is being divided, that's your dividend. Last of all, the quotient is the answer or the result of the division problem. If you say 27 divided by 3 is 9, 9 is the quotient or the answer. Remember how in a previous video we learned about two ways to multiply larger numbers? We talked about the standard algorithm, and we also talked about the window method. It looks like a box. Well, there are at least two different ways to divide larger numbers. The first way I'm going to explain is called the standard algorithm, which you heard with multiplying, and that's possibly how your parents, and I learned it too, learned how to divide. This has probably been around for years and years and years and years and years. This is very common. Many of you in 4th grade learned the phrase, dumb monkeys swing backwards, to remember the order of the steps when you divide. The dumb, the D in dumb stands for division. The M in monkeys is multiplication. The S in swing stands for subtraction. And the B for backwards means to bring down. Alright, so just as a short reference, I'm going to put this here. Dumb, divide, monkeys, multiply, swing, subtract, backwards, bring down. Let's look at our first problem here. And we are going to be dividing 336 by 3. This is our dividend, this is our divisor, and then our quotient, our answer will always go at the top. This is where we work it out, but our answer goes here. Step 1, dumb. First thing we look at is we think, how many times can 3 be divided by 3? Well, 3 can be divided by 3 one time. So we put a 1. Now, we multiply, monkeys. We say 1 times, that's a times sign, 1 times 3 is 3. Okay? Step 3, swing, that means subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. Fourth step, step 4, backwards, you bring down the next number and you start the process all over again. So I bring down the next number, which is a 3, and I start over. Alright? And I could do this, which means after I do this step, I'm going to start back over with that beginning if there's any more numbers to divide, which there are. Alright, here it is again, just so we don't forget. We've already done the first number, and here's where we ended up on the panel before this. Alright, we're going to start over. We're going to say, how many times can 3 be divided by 3? Okay, once. Put a 1. Now we multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract. 0. Alright? This is where we are now, backwards, so we bring down our next number, 6. And we start over. How many times can 6 be divided by 3? Well, we know it's not once, because 1 times 3 is 3. 2. Multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. 0. Backwards. Is there anything left to bring down? No. So we're done. That's our answer right there, is 112. And this is our quotient. This is our quotient. You can see where we've worked it out, but we always put our answer at the top. Now, sometimes numbers don't divide evenly. This one divided evenly, perfect. But sometimes they don't, and you have this amount left over. Well, the leftover amount is called a remainder. That's a vocabulary word, hint, hint. All right, so the leftovers are called a remainder. The way we show our remainder is with a capital R and then the leftover amount. Like if 4 was left over, we would say remainder 4. Another strategy that you can use to divide is called scaffold division. Scaffold division. And that's decomposing numbers, dividing them, and adding them back together. This is sort of like when you were multiplying, where you did the box method or the window method, where you broke them down by place value, multiplied them, and then added them back. Here you do the same thing. You decompose it, you divide them, and then you add them all back together again. Your answer, that's what you add all back together again. And that would be one way to do this. For example, if you had 432 divided by 8, you could think of this as 400 divided by 8 and 32 divided by 8. And then you would add those two quotients together, and that would be your final quotient. All right, another example, and let's use the scaffold division with this, is 630 divided by 5. Now, we could think of this as 600 divided by 5 and 30 divided by 5. Well, let's do that. Let's see, we could say 600 divided by 5. 6 can be divided by 5 once. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract 1. That's a 1. All right, bring down the next number. Start over. How many times can 10 be divided by 5? Well, 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract 0. All right, bring down the next number. Can we divide 0 by 5? No, we cannot. So to show that we tried to divide it, but we couldn't, we put a 0 here. We don't just say 12, because is it 12 times 5, 60? Not 600, right? So we have to put the extra 0 here to show that we tried to divide it, but that we couldn't. All right, let's go to the second part. 3 cannot be divided by 5, but 30 can, right? 30, how many times could 30 be divided by 5? 6 times. I know my multiplication. I know you do too. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract 0. All right, is there anything left to bring down? That's the backwards of the dumb monkey swing backwards. Nope, there's nothing to bring down, so we're done. Now, are we really truly done? No, we're going to add these two together to get our final answer. So 120 plus 6 is 126, and that would be our final answer. Okay? All right, now we're going to try dividing the same number, the same problem, but we're going to do both ways to see if we get the same answer. Let's try it using the standard algorithm. All right, how many times can 9 be divided by 4? 2. Put our 2 here. Multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 1. All right. The backwards of dumb monkey swing backwards says bring down, so we're going to bring that 4 down. All right. And now we're going to start the process over. Remember, dumb monkeys swing backwards. All right. Divide. How many times can 14 be divided by 4? Not quite 4 times. We'll try 3. 3 times 4 is 12. We get a 2. All right, is there anything left to bring down? No, there is not. So this is a leftover amount, so we show it with an R, that's our remainder, and a 2 because that's what's left over. All right. Now let's try the scaffold division part, and just so we can see, I'm going to get rid of that so that we can see it better. All right. We broke this down into 90 and 4. Let's do this part first. How many times can 4 be divided into 9? Well, 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 1. Bring down. All right? And we will look at that and say, how many times can 10 be divided by 4? Well, 3 times 4 would be 12. Not quite 12. Let's see. So it wouldn't be 3. It would be 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. We get a 2. Is there anything left to bring down? No. But we do have 2 left over, so we're going to put that in our answer, remainder 2. Are we finished? Nope. Still got this part left. All right. Let's look at this. How many times can 4 be divided by 4? Once. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract 0. Nothing left to bring down. We're done. Let's add these 2 parts together, this plus this, and that will be our final answer. All right, 22 remainder 2 plus 1 will be 23 remainder 2. And did you notice, no matter which way we did it, we ended up with the same answer. Ended up with the same answer. So done correctly, they both should work for you. All right, our practice problems for tonight. Now, here's the instructions. Please write this on your sheet. If you don't have enough room in section 3, put a little arrow and you can write it on the back. But show your work. I want to see what your thinking process was to work this out. Now, use the strategy that works for you, whichever one it is, whether you like breaking it up and doing the scaffold division or whether you use just the regular standard algorithm. But use one of them. And you have 2 problems. Okay? If you need to put this on pause, you can so that you can write it down. And good luck. Please let me know if you have any problems tomorrow in class. All right, thanks.